Hey y'all. Okay, so obviously I'm not where I'm normally at. I'm on vacation. So hopefully you guys can hear me okay. I definitely don't know makeup or nothing because I've been out here partying a little too much. Did I do too much? I guess I did. Okay, so today's video, I actually want to come talk to you guys about the Tyler Perry effect, as you can see by the title. And what I mean by the Tyler Perry effect is that there's always, okay, first, let me jump into the topic of my next video that I'm going to post, which is the Black agenda. And the reason why it is important to this video is because a lot of people say, oh, politicians don't have a black agenda. They don't ever do anything for us. Yes, they do have a black agenda. You guys just don't like it. The black agenda is to feminize the male, masculinate. Is that the right word though? It just sounds so funny. Or maybe I can't say it correctly. Masculinize the woman. I think I said that right. And then demonize in society and then eradicate. So they're doing what they say that they're going to do. So there definitely is a black agenda. Now, when it comes to the feminization of the black man, that has been a very difficult feat because our men are strong and proud and they carry themselves accordingly. So they were having a problem in doing it. See, first they tried it chemically. Okay, well, first they tried it forcefully by rape, and then they tried it chemically. And chemically is one of the longest processes they've done by putting the atrazine, the fluoride, and other herbicides and things like that in your water and in your food, which you consume. But what they realized was that the psyche of us, the chakra system, the psyche is so strong that the chemical approach was not working. So then they had to figure something else out. So remember, control what a man sees. Control how a man thinks. If you control how a man thinks, you control what he does. So, and remember, I always relate this back to Adolf Hitler because he was one of the first people who was able to pull out a successful Holocaust slash genocide and do it publicly. Of course, there's always a military one, but he was able to do it with some type of decorum attached to it, to where no one came to their defense, so to speak. So he didn't have to like fight a whole war because of what he was doing. No one came to the Jews' defense. They had to kind of get themselves out of that situation. So they took the Adolf Hitler approach. So what they did was they decided to get someone. And, you know, Tyler Perry was a local guy doing plays. I remember seeing one of his plays back when I used to visit Atlanta when he was in, it was a dump of a place, too. But I didn't think he would just blow up like that. It was really weird how quick he kind of came up, you know, just. Then he had this long story about I was living in my car. Well, I saw you happen to be in. So I don't think he was ever, like, poor like that. I think he was probably doing bad, but not, like, poor like he makes it seem. So, but that's just part of the story because he has to say that he was dirt poor and that he put on this dress and he became filthy rich. He had to say that because it would make him more appealing to other male comics. Now, remember, again, they've always been trying to feminize. So in order to get to the masses, you have to first get to the few. So remember, like Dave Chappelle, other comedians that were like, I'm not wearing no dress. There used to be a thing where you would have to kind of force them to doing a very effeminate role. It was forced upon them, it was thrust upon them, blackmail, whatever you want to call it, you know. They were forced into those situations, and then they had to make a choice. So they had to figure out a way to take the choice from them and for them to automatically want to be effeminized. So that's when you get Tyler Perry, because there is no other, and you could look, because I tried to find one. Not even Spike Lee has gotten the type of backing that Tyler Perry has gotten. Okay, and he is a directorial legend. Okay, I mean, I'm talking about this man gets crazy backing for any project. He has projects that he's had to put on the table that have already had financial backing. He just didn't do it. You know what I mean? So, and the reason being is because if you look at the situation in a whole. So you have Tyler Perry, he's putting on this dress, he's very effeminate in the Medea role, and he's making so much money. This is why he can kill her now, because her job is done. And he's making so much money, but look at who's looking at him make this money. So now you have very masculine comedians. There was this one guy, I thought he was so funny. He puts on the robe and pretends to be the black mom now. You know, he whoops her, and then he took some change out of, like, this for my babysitting. Don't leave your kids here, and type of thing. I can't think of his name, and not that I would put it on here because, you know, I don't want to offend anybody. I'm just using examples. You can go find who he is. I think it starts with an A. I'm not sure. But I'm not really into, you know, the social world like that. You know, I'd rather read than scroll. But you have these comedians who are, first they start off Insta famous, and then they're ascending to greater heights, and they're automatically feminine to get there. Like, you don't have to force them to put on a dress. They don't have to go into the dressing room and there's a dress in there like happened to Dave Chappelle, ain't no pop-up dress. They have the dress and the wig on right there on their little commercial ads, whatever you want to call those little 60-second skit things on Instagram. They're already automatically feminine. They're already letting you know, I'm down for it. I'm going to do whatever I have to do to get this money. You don't have to force it upon them or anything like that. So when it goes to these, it went from Tyler Perry to these entry-level comedians who are somewhat instant famous. Remember, we're living in the world of instant gratification. So, and I think that people are unknowing to themselves, making words of affirmation one of their love languages, or kind of equating being accepted with a higher form of self. You know, it's like, well, people don't like me, don't accept me. I really don't care. You know what I mean? It is what it is. But of course, I'm from a different generation. This generation kind of needs that, like, love. You have to, I'm holding it, so it's moving with me. Okay, so with that being said, when we go back, okay, so now we have Tyler Perry. He's affecting the younger comedic generation. They're automatically feminizing themselves. And then what that does is it makes it socially acceptable for the men to automatically act out on their feminine whims that they're getting from the previous chemical poisoning that they already have in their systems. For example, have you guys ever been chilling and all of a sudden you had like a suicidal thought, like, what the fuck? Where did that come from? And that's why the suicide rate is so high, because, you know, the weak and the meek, they kind of fall for that shit, and then next thing you know, they jumping off a bridge. You know, the same way with the feminization agenda. They've always had these feminized thoughts in the back of their head, in the back of their psyche, in the back of their subconscious, because the subconscious is the strongest part of consciousness. So whether you could probably say in the forefront up here, oh, I'll never do this, I never do that. But if you're having homosexual thoughts in your subconscious, or visions and or dreams or things like that, then eventually you're going to fall into them, especially if society tells you it's okay, you can do it, it's okay, try it, see if you like it, go ahead, yes, do it, suck a penis even though you already have one. You know what I'm saying? So when you have those, or, oh, he's kind of sexy, oh, but I'm not gay, oh, but he's sexy, ooh, what to do? You know what I'm saying? Because society makes it okay, you know? And you go look at my my LGBT political party video where I explain how the heterosexual male European demographic wanted to be overthrown in power by the homosexual European male demographic. So they needed to normalize homosexuality, etc., etc. And they always come get us for our numbers, because even though we are the majority on this planet, so they need us to co-sign on everything they do and to put it forth to the masses. But anyway, so when Tyler Perry put on that dress and made all that money, it was to a detriment to our society. Number one, you have never seen him portray a black woman in a positive role. Ever. You can go through all his videos, and it depends on, but remember what we think of positive. We're not thinking about Gabrielle Union being the wife that couldn't hold on to her man that the homeless bitch took. Okay? We're not talking about that. We're not talking about old four-color girls. Oh, that's true. That's a woman of every pick of every walk of life. No, I don't know nobody in my life that is a low-down floozy. There's no one in my family who, I forgot what all the women was. That's all, can't get a man-ish. Like, those four-color girls, not one of them four hoes is in my family. You know what I mean? So that was not an accurate depiction of women. and how we get down. They may be, and then the weak one whose kids got threw out the window. Girl, stop. That is not an accurate depiction of the 4 types of women, if you're going to say there are 4 in the Black indigenous community. That's a motherfucking lie. And what he has done is he's taken our image and kind of twisted it to what the European agenda is saying that we are. All the men are gay. The one that are not gay are abusive. The one that are not abusive, they want white women. You know, they have this constant rhetoric that they're throwing out there. And we're steady falling for it because we're perpetuating these things. So, again, Tyler Perry had an agenda. There's a reason why he got so much backing. Lionsgate has a reputation for not working with Black artists. They've always had that reputation. But they low-key will fund the shit if it's detrimental. If it degrades your society. For example, I found out, lo and behold, Black Code Entertainment, once upon a time, y'all know Black Code, they produce a lot of urban movies, was funded back in the day by Lionsgate. Like, that's where they got their leg up at. So I'm like, why? But then when you look at Black Code Entertainment, is murder, death, kill, sell dope, beat your bitch. Murder, death, kill, sell dope, beat your bitch. I haven't seen too many positive films like that came out of that depicted us in a good image. So even Wakanda didn't depict us in the best image. Okay, yeah, they were all rich and they had culture, they was all having some things, but at the end of the day, he still sold his people out. Because at the end of that movie, he decided to share his technique. He built a homeless shelter that I'm gonna call it, you know, an outreach center, whatever, that's under federal guise, I'm sure, for the Black community. But then he shared his technology with the European masses. So that movie was just a whole sellout flick. It was entertaining to watch, but it wasn't nothing that should have made you politically proud, which is the type of pride we need in order to move forth, to kind of contend with what's going on. Y'all need to stock up on y'all guns too, because these politicians are talking real reckless, and Armageddon is going to start. And I know Armageddon sounds dramatic, but I'm dramatic. So definitely make sure you stockpile on your guns. I believe you could buy like 1 a month or whatever. They're not that expensive. So maybe stop buying all this Gucci or even the fake Gucci and go and get you a weapon, because it's going to go down. And teach your kids how to shoot and take care of themselves, and teach your kids how to fight. Let's do some capoeira or some judo or something, because if you learn how to disarm somebody, it won't be so many people dying by the hands of the cops because you wouldn't know how to fight back. You know what I'm saying? People don't know how to fight back. That's the problem. That is the problem. That's why you get your ass killed out there, because you don't know how to fight back. The least I do is know basic self-defense. I know how to disarm somebody who's threatening me. You know what I mean? If you don't even know how to take the weapon out and lock their wrist down and knock them out with your knee, like, you don't know basic defense moves, and then you wonder why you getting murked on the scene by the Ku Klux Klan. But I digress. That's a different topic. But that's about the Black agenda, which I'm going to record next. Again, Tyler Perry had a I don't know if it was even announced to him, but a lot of people sell out their own people and they don't give a shit. I knew he was a sellout when he got with Oprah, because Oprah Winfrey has been a race collaborator. She is historic for collaborating with our European oppressors. Like, she is historic for that. And even when she brought on and she thought she was going to do something great for herself, no. They came and infected that too. Like, no, bitch, you going to still be on board with what the fuck we got going. We didn't give you all these means for you to do what you want to do. You're not going to help your people. You're going to continue to be a detriment to society like you have been. Okay? These are the images that we approve. This is what you can do. Okay, so again, when he hooked up with her, I already knew it was something wrong. And even Monique even said it, that Tyler Perry is responsible for 60% of the gay actors and comedians now. And what I mean by gay is, I mean the ones that have no problem being gender fluid on TV. No one has a problem with that. Nobody. And if you look into these people's past, they were like heterosexual males. They were not, what's that, Edu, whatever, he always put on that wig, KKYTT, whatever, always putting on that wig. My brother Tim, I see you, boo. wig. You know what I mean? It's getting to the point to where female comedians can't even be female comedians because they have to now compete with these male female comedians. You see what I'm saying? So it's like it's kind of crazy because I used to want to do stand up. I think I'm quite funny. Anybody who knows me knows I am a riot, but I can't get in that industry. It's the female comedic lane is full of men. It's full. It's overloaded. It's oversaturated. So if you're a female comedian, good luck, because you got to compete with these men. Okay? Just like if you're a female stylist, you got to compete with all these men. You know? And most women are attracted to black men, so if they're going to lay out a lace, then we're going to definitely go to them as opposed to going to a black woman who could do the same thing, if not better. Because at the end of the day, we're going to go with the men at whether they have on wigs or not, and that's unfortunate. But again, Tyler Perry was doing what he do for a reason. He was able to get on and get rich for a reason, because if he had been making upright plays that displayed us in positive images, that displayed a non-feminine black man, that displayed a non-masculine black woman, that displayed no whole shit, no fuck shit, then he would have been supported only by his people, but he never, ever would have ascended to motion picture status. He probably wouldn't have never made it past Sundance, or he would have still been doing his little shows in Atlanta. He wouldn't have made it to where he is now unless some people black got behind him, which is very rare. You know, I haven't seen Jada Pinkett and Will Smith back anything yet that was worth the backing, and they have a whole production studio. But then they complain about so much that's being wrong, that's wrong in the media, that's wrong in the movies, but I don't see them put anything out there but red table talk, which is a load of dust to me. So again, the Tyler Perry effect is real. So and it normalized homosexual, transsexual deviancy in our community. It made it normal. So it affected the mainstream comedians, then it affected the mid-level comedians, and it went from the mid-level comedians to infecting the streets. Because other people saw them doing it, like, oh, it's okay now. Because they've always had these images programmed to the back of their mind. So now it went from the subconscious to the conscious, and then now the chakra system is flipped inside out, and they're acting it out. Go look at that video, the LGBT political party. It kind of explains, it's kind of a prerequisite to what I'm saying here. Tyler Perry was a detriment. I don't care how many people he employed. I don't care what he doing, because I know of a couple people who wrote some really good projects who would get no traction with Tyler Perry. He didn't get no support from Tyler Perry. She didn't get no support from Tyler Perry because, number one, he's a narcissist and he likes to produce his own stuff and put out his own material. And he's a creative himself, so he has so many things that he's trying to create. But on top of that, if it doesn't depict, remember, it is to feminize, to masculate, to demonize, and to eradicate. So if that's the black agenda, if anybody at work that you're putting out is not supporting that particular agenda, then next thing you know, he gonna have tax issues. So he don't want that. He don't want no smoke. So he's gonna definitely do what he knows he needs to do. And even though it's probably without being said, you never know how those meetings work. He knows what it is. People are very cognizant of what they're doing. And they know that, okay, well, funny how I started getting supported by mainstream when I put on this dress. You see what I'm saying? Because they knew it was going to have a psychological effect and trickle down all the way into our communities. You know, first it infected the black male art world, and then it went from there to affecting the streets. And, you know what I'm saying, the neighborhoods and the communities. So it was definitely an agenda. It was definitely very purposeful. And you got to watch out what you expose your kids to. Because, you know, even when I was younger, when Tyler Perry first came out, I would catch my homeboys, not my homeboys, because, you know, we stiff. But I would catch other guys. Even my nephew one time, I had to slap a shot at him pretending to be Medea. Like, nah, fam, that's not how we go. I'm talking about, I whooped his ass. I fucked him up. I'm sorry. But you cannot continue to be so lucid in your households. And then when your son is showing these female traits, don't say, oh, that's him. That's time for you to do some course correcting. Like if my daughter was showing masculine traits, I'd be like, nah, baby, that's not a woman's work. That's not a woman do. Let your cousin take out the trash or whatever it is. I always redirect her because that's what I'm supposed to do as a parent. As a parent, I'm guiding you. I'm not letting you out nilly-willy. So you guys, when you do have these effeminate sons and they do little feminine shit because that's what they're exposed to because they're being overexposed to TV and media, then you do some course correcting. You say, nah, son, that's not how I go. Punch him in the chest. Knock that wind out of him. You know what I'm saying? You knock that bitch through his sacral system. You're like, you see the spirit body come out the back. Yeah, knock it out of him. Do some course correcting. Because a lot of times it's not that they're gay, it's that they get to act like that and then they get older and they just used to acting like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's that guy's name? Irvin Johnson? Is his name Irvin Jr.? Whatever. Michael Johnson? Whatever. Y'all know who I'm talking about, that basketball player who said he had HIV, but him and Cookie's still alive. Their son, Irwin, I think his name is Irwin. He looks like a whole man in a dress. Like, he is not a good trainee at all. I've seen some good trainees that live by this shit. I don't know if he's wanting his parents' attention. I don't know what he got going on. But that bad body, his daddy didn't even take him to the gym. You could tell he had no masculine influence in his life. That is a prime example of not parenting. Because, I like to take somewhere public where people can go look. But that's a prime example of not parenting. And if you go look at old pictures and stuff like that, he didn't have a mama or a daddy. He probably had a gay nanny and a hairdresser and stuff like that. So I'm going to end this video with that. Do your parenting, do your due diligence in the household because the Tyler Perry effect is real. And it has taken over the African American, the Black, Indigenous, Aboriginal art community, the creative community, and it has trickled down into our own communities, right into our houses. So we have to stop there. When you see your boys acting feminine, do some course correct. Don't say, oh, that's them. They don't know nothing about being no punk. All they know is what you allow. You understand that? So I'm going to end this video with that. I love you guys. And you guys have a good one. And then, this is Black Span and we're out. Because my saying, if you can watch C-Span, you can watch Black Span.